All
For
right,
some reason, I cannot see.
welcome to our second Campinar. Today we're going to be talking about packing for camp. We're going to talk about why is packing well important, what actually do we need to pack, and then also how do we pack it. And I'm hoping to have one of our camp moms on as well for a Q&A at the end of this Campinar. So we'll just start off with a story. Imagine that it's your first year at camp and you show up on opening day and you're so excited. And of course, your kids are pumped up as well. And you go to your cabin and you meet your head counselor and they say, "Hey, it's so great to see you. We're so glad you're here." And then they proceed to kind of go through a checklist of things to make sure you get checked in. And one of the questions that you're asked is, "Hey, have y'all marked all your clothing?" And it's at that moment that things start to go wrong, and you're like, "Man, I haven't really thought about that." And so I'm sure most of our moms and dads that would never happen. But if that were you, like like it would happen probably to me, uh, I would spend the next 20 to 30 minutes marking all my child's clothing with their first initial and last name, and um, just kind of put a damper on opening day, which we want for you to be easy and enjoyable. And so that's why we were talking about packing today, because we don't want that to happen to you. And so man, please, if you have questions, you can chat at the bottom. If you're on your computer, you can chat at the bottom and type those in. And you can also just ask us at the very end if you're on your phone. So let's dive in. So why is packing important? Other than the obvious reasons, obviously, you want to make sure they have what they need at camp. But the other one, like I mentioned, is just to make sure the opening day goes smoothly. And if you've got everything packed, ready to go, and ready to be unpacked, it's going to make opening day super simple. And so, really, we want to prepare y'all for opening day. Now, what to pack is the other big question. And so, you're actually going to be receiving a packing list in your camper packet that we are going to be mailing out later this week. Um, and you can kind of see, if you can see my screen, the page with the packing list. And so I really just kind of want to go through this. And we'll just start with number 2 there, what you must bring to camp. And this is vitally important for obvious reasons, but a water bottle. And let me just say, anything and everything, which is number 1 there on your screen, please, please, please write your child's first initial and full last name on everything. Let me repeat, on everything. Because, at camp we're having fun and we leave stuff everywhere, and it's so much easier to take it back to campers and make sure they have it, especially when you're talking about must bring items, which are water bottle, sunscreen, and bug spray. Those are 3 things that they must have. And so we want to keep kids hydrated and we want to keep them healthy. And so we want to keep them free of bug bites and free of sunburns. So please, please, please pack those, write their name on them. And then there's the clothing and toiletry items. These are kind of a general baseline list of what they need to bring. And so you'll see this list again in your packet, but you can see trunk or suitcase, jeans, shorts and socks. It kind of goes through just clothing items, pretty self-explanatory. And then toiletry items, toothbrush, soap and shampoo, laundry bag with a drawstring. I would recommend breathable laundry bag. You can actually, a lot of the stuff you can buy on the camp store on our website if you wanted it to be a Camp Yoani laundry bag. Towels, beach towels, stamps and writing materials, and a battery-operated fan. But again, it's pretty cut and dry, but this kind of goes through just a list of these are things that you need to bring. And just a quick point is number 5 there, laundry at camp. So for 1 week sessions, the laundry is not actually done at camp. So you want to make sure, if you're coming session 1, pack for a week of camp and enough clothes to last for the week. And then for 2 weeks of camp, we are going to wash clothes at the middle of the session. And so usually starting on Thursday through Sunday-ish, we'll begin laundry. And so your kiddos just need to have enough clothes to make it for a week. We'll get those washed. Also enough clothes to make it while laundry is being done during the middle of the week. So, and then the other really cool thing that we're excited about this year is in your packet. I'm going to go back to my screen here. You can, down here, just want to say thank you to our moms. We had a handful of moms that gave some packing tips. And there was 25 packing tips. And so these are just additional kind of thoughts from our professional moms at camp that have packed numerous summers. And there's some really good stuff in there. So when you get your packet, you can go through those. We're not going to go through those today. But that's been super helpful. But there's some good insights there as well. And then the next question, so we talked about why and what, but let's talk about how to pack. There's a couple of big things here. Obviously, number one is, where do I put our stuff in? And so that's going to be, that will be usually a trunk, or if you don't have a trunk, you can certainly just bring a big piece of luggage. And the trunk height needs to be no taller than 18 inches. Most of our bunks, we've measured these. Anything 18 inches or less, it should be able to fit underneath the bunk. And so, don't feel like you have to bring a trunk, but I know a lot of kids do. And then, just the big thing with packing is, please make sure you put your camper's first initial and full last name on everything, right, Huey? Huey doesn't like, she does not like having to find lost and found every day, all day, and take it back. We certainly will, and we'd be happy to, but man, it makes it easier when there's like an initial and 10 kids have the same initial. So,
I also have something. The reason why you want to put the initial and the last name is because initials, like, kids don't recognize the initials, because when we call names and when we're trying to get attention of the kids so they can see those items belong to them, if we say initials, they're not going to pay attention, but last names, they will pay attention to those. So that's why we want the last name there.
Yep. Yeah, it makes it super easy. And then, somebody in boys camp, when we know it's theirs, they can't say, no, that's not mine. Yes, it's yours. And your mom's going to be mad at you if you don't have your water bottle. So here you go. Some other just frequently asked questions about packing. And then I'm hoping that Sarah Palmer is on this call. And we're going to do a Q&A, or we can just do a Q&A with you guys. But and that is just some big questions of packing. So we talked about trunk size. Another big question is, can I bring a fan? Obviously, we're in East Texas, so it does get warm in the summer. And the question is, yes, you may bring a fan. Make sure that it is battery operated and not a plug-in fan. All of our cabins, have what we call power fans in them. They're these big metal fans that blast air in the cabins. But what happens when we have kids bring plug-in fans is breakers start going down, and then those fans don't work and kids are hot. So please bring a battery operated fan only, and extra batteries. I think the fan that is one that we recommend is, I think, the O2 Cool, and it is on Amazon for pretty reasonably priced. Another question, do I need to bring a sleeping bag? The answer is no, you don't have to, but we strongly recommend it, especially for boys camp. If you have a boy camper between the ages 8 and 12, we do a camp out, and so it certainly makes camp out a lot easier for those kiddos if they have a sleeping bag. So don't have to bring a sleeping bag, but you can. We talked about laundry. Again, 1 week camp, we do not do laundry. For 2 week camps, we do laundry midway through. And another question that because Camp Uwani has bath houses, we don't have a bathroom in every cabin. The question is, how do I pack toiletries knowing that there's a bathhouse? And so we highly recommend shower caddies, just the plastic little bins with the handle. Again, I'd put their full name on that, and they can either keep that in the bathhouse, so when they go to brush their teeth and take a shower, it's all there, or they can take it to and from the cabin easily. Yeah. So that's kind of an overview. Sarah, are you on the call? Sarah?
I'm here.
All right. So Sarah Palmer is a mother of 3. Elizabeth Ann, Sam, and Sarah Jane. And they live in Marshall, Texas. And she has packed many a times for both boys camp and girls camp. So she is fully trained on both sides of campus. But I'd like to open it up to our parents here, and just, if you have any questions, feel free to hop on and you either type them in, or if you want to just ask them, and we'll open up for questions.
Also, Sarah, did we forget to mention something that you might want to just talk about?
Mm-hmm.
I think, well, what I was thinking when you were talking is probably the most important when you're packing and you're laying out clothes. Realize that maybe it's okay with you if those clothes don't come home, because the kids, when they're gone, whether it's a week or 2 weeks, they're not thinking about, do I have all my socks? Do I have all my shirts? Do I have everything that, to pack up to go home? They're having fun. They're outside. They're playing. They're not sitting around in their cabin. My experience has been that, we never come home with all our clothes, and that really got on me the first year or so, but I have grown and have come to understand that that's okay. So when I pack, I always pack knowing if that pair of shorts or if that shirt doesn't make it back to my house, it's not going to be a terrible thing. Hence, I tend to buy, if I have to go out and buy camp clothes, which I try not to do, I just try and keep stuff if it's almost, the kids are about to outgrow it. That's a great thing to go to camp, because I know if it doesn't come home or it's too dirty to really be able to be washed and cleaned, that's okay if it hits the trash. So, but if I do go and buy clothes, I do not buy anything expensive. They're just going to be in a t-shirt and shorts, and they're going to be playing in the woods and rolling around in the sand at the volleyball court, and their jeans, they're going to be in the woods and in the pool with their jeans on, and all these kind of things that, they don't get to do at home and that are okay to do at camp. And so I just try to remember that we don't have to buy like a brand new great pair of jeans to go to camp, because 2 weeks later, either they may not come home or they may be ripped up or something like that. And that just has, just make sure not to break the bank on just trying to clothe your kids for camp. Just put in all t-shirts.
Great. That's really helpful, Sarah. We do have a question from Marley Thomas. And she said, can you put the pack list up to help me think of questions? Oh, great. Yeah. So, Marley, yes, I can. We will, in fact, when we post this blog, we'll just go ahead and put that list up for y'all. And so we'll have a recording of this webinar here, as well as a packing list. And I believe, actually, Marley, we actually do have it up. If you'll go to I'm going to make sure. If you go to Learn on our homepage here, and then go to the Preparing tab, our section, there's a packing, laundry, and luggage list here. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm telling you the right thing. Yep. So it is actually up. So what we can do too is just we'll put a link to this, and you can look through this list. And but yeah, we can definitely do that.
Perfect. Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else? Questions? One question while we're waiting to hear from anybody else, a question I have, Sarah, for you is, what's your mindset? Is there anything else as far as like a mindset going into packing, thinking of like timeline?
Well, as my kids have gotten older, we tend to pack closer to going to camp.
Right.
But when they were younger, I usually tried, at least 2 weeks beforehand because, depending on where you live, Marshall's not a real big town. And so a lot of kids go to camps here. And if you don't want to be running around crazy at the last minute, whether you're trying to get a fan or batteries for that fan, that's something else. I don't know if that's on your list too. I always send extra batteries. Because if the fan does run out, and the kids have had that happen about a week in, and they're too cool, the D batteries run out. So I send an extra set of batteries to go in there. You don't want to be running around at the last minute trying to find 1,000 different things. We, of course, mine are older now, and they start packing for themselves. My oldest, she's 14. I probably give her 2 weeks, and she'll go ahead and start starting to think about what she wants to take to camp, and she'll have me getting trunks down pretty soon. So it's whatever works for you. How many kids you have, what you've got going on right before camp. We'll be out of town right before camp, so we're going to be, kind of going to have to get moving early this year. Something else I tend to do too is I write everything down on a piece of paper, notebook paper, whatever, and I take that to the top of their trunk. So, and I leave that in every year so the next year when like last year's list is, taped to the top of all my kids' trunks on the inside. This year when I go and open trunks, I'll go, oh, okay, this is what I packed last year. That's just a reference for me, knowing what's good for them. And each child and I will take a look at it. Did you still want to take all this, or did you want to take more of something or less of something? For instance, I don't know that when you said that about sleeping bags, I don't know the last time we packed a sleeping bag. My kids don't really sleep in one. Now, Sam probably packs one for camp out, but the others do not. The girls don't. So, that's an easy go back because I can never remember what I packed last year with my 3 kids for each one specifically, and they're very different about what they want to take with them. And so that's a good idea to tape it into the top of your suitcase or trunk or whatever.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you. We do have a question from Michelle. She asks, how many pairs of clothes do they normally run through a day? Let me see if I can answer that, and then I'd love to hear also Hui and Sarah what y'all think. I mean, no day is really the same at Hawani, so it really just depends. But I would say generally they're going to wear shorts and a t-shirt during the daytime. If they get really muddy, they might wear 2 pairs during the daytime. And then at nighttime, usually it's jeans and a different shirt or something. And so I'd say normally 2, but it could vary to like 3, maybe 4 if it's a really if we go hike to the carving trees in the afternoon, everybody gets muddy, and we come back and we do soccer, finals, and then we swim afterwards. It's like they go from a clean pair of clothes to whatever they're going to get muddy to whatever they're going to play soccer in to whatever they're going to swim in. So I don't know. What would y'all say, Hui and Sarah?
I say you will know your kids. Some kids love to change. Other kids will wear the same clothes for a very long time where we have to remind them to change clothes. And so boys usually, I'm pretty sure they can go without changing for the whole day. Girls sometimes do change a lot. So I would follow Travis's guidelines. I'm sure Sarah will know the tips, have really good information from each single parent about how boys work and how girls work. But yeah, it's all depending on your kid and how often they like to have clean clothes on them.
I think it differs between a girl and a boy. For instance, my son, who is 12 this year, will be 12 at camp this year. He's come home with, and he attends the kids go to second session, so that's 2 weeks. and I'll pack 10 pair of underwear, and when I say 6 of them are still folded clean, at the bottom of the trunk, yes, they are, and we talk to him about how important it is to change his underwear every day. I mean, but you know what? It's camp. It's fine. It's fine. Our goal for our kids at camp is to learn a little bit to be responsible for themselves and, do for themselves. And Sam's gotten better over the years, and so have the girls. But he's not real big on changing his clothes. That doesn't matter to him. Now, my girls, they know exactly what outfit they want to wear every day, especially my oldest. And she knows, what she's going to wear to camp out, and she knows what she's going to wear at skit night. And so it is a little different. But my suggestion is, you'll know your own child, but also it's okay if you come home with clean clothes just sitting in the bottom of your trunk. They did fine. They're great. They had a wonderful time. It's good.
Thank you. That's good. Hopefully that answered your question, Michelle. The other question from Marley is, should they pack balls, frisbees, props, costumes? I think as far as like balls and frisbees, a lot of kids will bring their baseball and glove, to throw the baseball around, or they might bring a frisbee. But I would try to limit it to maybe one or two things, because we have plenty of frisbees, plenty of balls, plenty of footballs, volleyballs. So a lot of that stuff is at camp, but if they have one that they like, we do have a frisbee golf course. So if they have like a disc that they want to bring, that'd be totally appropriate. And then as far as like props or costumes, they can certainly bring a costume. We do have talent shows, so a lot of kids will bring something to dress up in. I remember Sam, Sarah's son, he brought an Elvis costume, and he was Elvis. So that's totally appropriate. I just, I don't think you have to go overboard with that. But yeah, if they want to bring one or two costumes, I think that'd be great. I don't know anything else.
But my suggestion is, you don't want to waste room in your trunk for a costume if you're filled up just getting their clothes there. And
right.
That's always been something that our kids are like, we want to take this, so we got to have this. And I always have to say, okay, what's most important? What do you know you're going to use? Like you said about the frisbees and all that stuff. They've got all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Sam loves the costume, and so do my girls. So they always take something that they're going to, especially for skit night or talent show, they get excited about that kind of stuff. So, but I just wouldn't sacrifice room for underwear, socks, and shirts and shorts just to make sure you've got the costume you want.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, anybody else? These are great questions, by the way. All right. Well,
I have a quick question.
Oh, go ahead. Is this Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
I have twins that are coming together, and it's their first time to go to camp. And I'm kind of trying to figure out, do I invest in the trunks, or do I just use a big duffel bag this year for each of them?
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to feel like schmucks if they don't have trunks? I
No,
know they're not required, but
not at all. We have plenty of campers that bring duffel bags, and so yeah, not at all. Because there are some super duty heavy trunks that you can purchase, but it's like, hey, this is our first summer. Let's see what it's like, and I think that'd be totally fine and not out of the ordinary.
okay. Because I just kind of wanted to give it a year, and then I'm willing to make any investment, but I'm not for sure that they're going to love it. So
yeah, that's good. We're all about small, cheap experiments here, so yeah, that makes sense, and I think that'd be fine.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody else? Any other questions? If you do have a question, please email us at fun@campyouwanna.com, or you can just call our main line at 936-657-1982 and talk to Huey. Actually, and we do have one more question. This is from Rachel. Do campers or should they bring their own snacks? Great question. Can they bring lights or something to string on their bunk? Great question. As far as snacks, we are careful. They can certainly bring snacks, especially if it's a nutritional thing. I mean, we have campers that have food needs, and that's you need to let us know in your application, like if you're gluten free. We do have campers that are gluten free, and we serve them food. I think the main thing with food or snacks is just really try to limit those, because we really want to try to keep food out of the cabin because they attract critters, and so
Mine.
ants and other mice, whatever, so we want to keep those out of the cabin. So I know it's a tradition with a lot of girl campers, like their mom will send them cookies, and that's fine. They'll get that package on the back end of lunch, and they can have those at rest period and eat those. But we really don't encourage them to keep them in the cabin. So limit snacks. It's okay to send or take, and if you do send them, maybe make sure that they're super sealed up, so that they're not going to attract any ants. And then as far as lights, really we discourage people from bringing anything that's plugged in. And I know earlier I mentioned, you may not have heard this, but the reason we don't allow plug-in fans is because it flips our breakers, and so then nobody has power. So lights would kind of fall into the same category. Certainly if you have, like, we have a lot of campers that'll bring like battery flashlights or flashlights that turn into lanterns. So that is kind of cool in the cabin to light up at night if they're playing cards or telling stories or whatever, after lights out. So maybe just bring something that's battery operated. That would be fun to light the cabin up at nighttime. Hopefully that answers it. Anybody else? Oh, thanks. All right. Well, again, if you have questions, email us, call us, and we'd love to help you. We're going to mail out these camper packets, I believe, on Friday, and so you should be getting them hopefully middle to end of next week. And we are so looking forward to camp. We're a month and a half away, and so we're super excited. And thank y'all for joining us. Thank you, Sarah, for being our voice for packing. that was helpful.
Yeah. Anytime. Glad to help.
All right. Well, y'all have a great week. And then, two more things. Next week, we are going to be having our last Campinar on opening day. We really try to, we're going to try to make opening day the easiest it's ever been. And so even if you've come to camp for a long time, please join us next week, because we're going to kind of talk about how that's going to happen. So, for example, like going directly to the cabin when you arrive versus going to the dining hall, that's going to be a big change. And then the other thing is, I just posted a blog this morning. Let me make sure that my camera's on. I don't know if y'all can see me, but we're doing our Hawaii Parents Book Club this summer again. Last year we did Homesick and Happy was the book that we read, and I blogged on a little bit last summer. And then this summer, we're going to be doing Last Child in the Woods. It is a really, really, really interesting book, just about some interesting research that's coming out about why nature is so important. And we really, if you actually reply to that blog at the bottom and just say, hey, send me a free book, we'll actually send you a free book, and you can read it either before camp or during camp while your kid's at camp. And I would really love to hear what y'all learn and kind of share that together on the blog this summer while your kiddo's at camp. But yeah, next week, 12 o'clock on Tuesday, we'll be talking about opening day. And thank y'all for joining us.